Okay, hello and welcome to my craft room. It's Mel from Inkspired Crafts, and it's a bit warm still here. We're not used to the heat in the UK, and it's a bit of a struggle. I just noticed my stand's not completely on my desk, so I'm just going to move that a little bit. Okay, so I'm revisiting an old style card today called a triple step diamond card. Say old style. I've made it in the past, and I thought I'd give it a go using the new All Aflutter bundle and the Bloom Boutique papers, and the ink colours, of course. So this is one that I've just been playing with and making, and I don't know if it shows up very well. Some of the butterflies I've used the Barely Blush shimmer brush on. It's a bit difficult to see it in this light, but it does give them a bit of a shimmer. So that is what I'm going to show you to make. Obviously there is a different version on my blog already with other papers and things, but I quite like this one. It's quite a nice easy sort of card to do. Okay, so the card base is 11.5 inches to start with. This does actually use a fair bit of cardstock. Okay, so it's 11.5, and then it's 5 3/4 inch deep. And then we're going to score this first of all at 1 inch. Right, now I'm going to turn it around and use this side of the ruler, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches next. Okay, so that's 1 inch, 2 inch, then at 3.5 inches, and then 5, and then the last score is at 8 1/4, so all the way along there. Okay, so I'll just put the arm of that away. What I need next is I'm going to use white cardstock on this one for my diamonds. Basically they are squares, but turned on their side to make diamonds. So the first one, I'm going to just cut a strip of 3 inch wide, and the first diamond is 3 inches by 3 inches, and then we want one that is, I believe, 2.5 by 2.5. and then another one that is 2 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so that's our cardstock. Oh, and we need also a 5.5 by 3 panel for the inside. Right, the designer series paper, I'm going to use this one. This is absolutely gorgeous. So the first measurement I'm going to cut is 5.5 inches. And then I'm going to turn it round. Obviously, if it's directional, you need to make sure the direction is in the right place, the right direction. The first piece I'm going to cut at 3/4 of an inch, then at 1 and sorry, I'm just double checking I get this right. 1 1/4 inch. Okay, and then at 3 inches. Okay, so that's for the card base, and then I'm going to use this one for to go on the diamonds. So again, I'm going to just cut a strip. I don't think it matters. So this one is going to be cut at 2 3/4 inches. So we want a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Then we're having a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. No, actually I'm going to turn it that way because there's slightly more pattern that way. Right, we'll get rid of the board now, and just going to pop those bits to one side, and then these are going to go like so. So I'm just going to glue these on. So we've got an 1/8 of an inch border, so, and then we can just pop these bits on as well. You could use the plainer sides, but I do like the gold and being able to use the really pretty sides. So that one, squidge him up a bit. And that one is going to go on there. Right. Let's just pop the lid on the glue so that it doesn't all get gungy and funny. All I'm going to do now is, as this will be dry, I'm just going to do my score lines. You can do the score lines first if you want to, or after you've glued your pattern paper on. It's up to you. Okay, so that is our card base. Now, when we're gluing these on, the easiest way to do them is put the big one on first. You can measure it if you want to, but just get it as close to centre, and just obviously eyeballing it. Oh, excuse me. Alright, I'm just going to glue that one in place there. Bear with me a moment. Okay. I had to take my mum to the doctor's this morning, and not this morning, yesterday, and I've been up there this morning. She isn't very well at all, so I've got to go and get her a prescription a bit later. Hopefully that will make her feel better. It's quite worrying when your mum's ill. She's on her own up there. So right, so this time I'm gluing just a little bit, but I'm using it, the guide, folding it over and using it so I can line up the edges. And I shall do exactly the same again with this one. So decide which way round I want it. And then I'm just going to pop a bit of glue in this like triangle here. And then I can place that on there, and that's the main sort of element of the card. So for decoration on my other one, and I will do the same on this one, I've used the butterflies. It does fit into a standard card size envelope, so there's no worries about that. And you know, I've only stuck the butterflies on by a small amount so that you can give them a bit of a bit of leverage. Right, so I'm going to use some crisp cantaloupe, I think, and also white. So we're going to have two different coloured butterflies on this one. I should just bring in my, pop that out the way for a minute. Right, in case you haven't seen these are the new ink pads, only available at the moment in the in colours. but oh my goodness, they are amazing. They really are a game changer for ease, and you know, I just love them. So much easier than the other designs that we've had. So yeah, and at the moment until the end of May, if you wanted to sign up as a demonstrator, which you know you don't have to do demonstrating, you sign up, get excess amount of goods for your money, and you can get these, the whole set of these, the 5, free of charge. So it's a real good deal, that is. Right, so I've got those stamped out. Now I'm just gonna hopefully be able to line them up. Isn't it funny? I thought if I've obviously stamped it too straight. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm trying to punch something out in front of people, my hands shake. So there's my coloured ones. I'm going to cut that off as well. And my days. All right, I think that's about okay. So right, not good, is it? Shaky hands. Okay, so I'm gonna, where's my, I don't want that one. This is my crisp cantaloupe shimmer brush. Oh, bear with me. Just, if you haven't seen these are like the Wink of Stella, but they're in the in colours. And I'm just gonna pop some bits. I think I maybe should have used a different colour on here, but it should be alright. They are really pretty. They're not as glittery as the Wink of Stella, but they're still lovely. They've got, you can see maybe in the barrel easier. I'm going to use some Wink of Stella as well on some of these, just to add some shimmer. You can do really quite fine lines or quite, you know, thicker brush strokes, depending on what you're colouring or what you're trying to add to. And if you're good at things like calligraphy, you would be able to write really nicely in these. I did start trying to learn calligraphy a while ago, and I just haven't really got enough practice in to do it, but it's one type of writing I would love to be able to do. Okay, so you might be able to, I've only got, well, I haven't, these have got Winker Stella on. I don't know whether you can see the difference. It's a bit difficult in the camera, I think, to be able to see the difference. Anyway, so that's my butterflies. They'll sort themselves out. I do also need a sentiment, so I'm going to use Happy Birthday again. This one is from the Balloon Festoon stamp set, and will it fit on there? Just about, I think. So I'm going to stamp again in Crisp Cantaloupe. Try and line it up so it's straight with the camera in the way. Not too bad. It'll be alright. Okay. Right. So this, first of all, I'm just going to cut down. I might actually, let's just trim that. Do some little flag ends. Actually, I don't like it both sides. I'm just going to straighten that off. I'm just going to put it on the one side, I think. Now, my various butterflies, let's just move that out of the way. All I'm going to do with these is stick my nail where the body is of the butterfly so that it bends. I don't want it bent in half, I just want it, give it a bit of a bit of sort of 3D it allows them to lift off a little bit. And then I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. On the bottom. And then these I'm going to sort of place around one up there, and it still closes like this, so I'm going to then glue them like that. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a small piece, get the bung out of there, a small bit of glue. You see, it is only a tiny bit of glue. and stick that down, and I'm going to do the same with all of them. So it's just a tiny bit of glue on that spine, well, the body part anyway, of the butterfly. Do the same with all the others. A bit much on there, but that'll be fine. Right. Pop that on there. Okay, so that's hi, that's the front of the card. Just bring my stamping mat back in, and this is the layer to go on the inside. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna stamp in crisp cantaloupe, but I'm gonna stamp it off so that it's not as, I don't know, I've got, so it's not as dark. Don't know what this is going to come out like. I've not used it in that way before. Oh, but that's nice. Yeah, perfect. So it brings in the, ties in the colour, but without it being too stark on the back. Okay, so as I say, it fits into a standard size envelope, and yeah, it's really quite a pretty card. Okay, well, thanks for joining me today. I've just had a text message from my mum, so I think I've got to get a subscription for her shortly. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you again next week. Right, take care, and thanks for watching. Bye.